Hello and welcome to Newsnight. I am Ladi Akiriduluale. It's our pleasure to have you join us. Our conversation on the progress of efforts to heal, reconcile, and reintegrate Nigeria 50 years after the Civil War ended continues today. My guest is the Minister of Labor and Productivity, Dr. Chris Ngige. Honorable Minister, thank you so much for your time. Welcome.
Thank you.
Now, it's 50 years since the tragedy that was the Nigerian Civil War ended. The federal government
Yes.
went all out to reconcile those who were in Biafra with the rest of the country. As a matter of fact, it was said then that the common refrain was that it should not be described as a war. It was a misunderstanding that got out of control between brothers. Now, 50 years down the line, then there were the 3 R's.
Yes.
Reconciliation, reconstruction,
And rehabilitation.
How far do you think we have come 50 years down the line?
Well, nation building is a very difficult thing, especially when people have gone to war. That is why it's said that after a war, people should take precaution in how the aftermath is managed, managing the success. If you're on the side that is declared victorious, managing the defeat, the side that has felt that they didn't win. We praise God that the Igbos of Nigeria are a very industrious group of people. They are very hardworking. Their industry thrift and economic sense. You can't take it away from them. When the war ended and they were given £20 each for every amount of money you had. In fact, I was a young boy. I had just gone back to school. We thought that that's the end of the world. Because even my school fees for a term was £20. That's what we were paying before the war, and that's what we started with in 1970. £20 a term. But by dint of hard work, industry, and the economic the economic dexterity of the people, they were able to catch up in 2, 3, 4 years. They were everywhere. In fact, they started even building houses again in Lagos, in Kaduna, in Kano. One would have thought that because of the abandoned property issue that took place in Port Harcourt, it was enough to dissuade them from developing other places. No. Even in Port Harcourt, as I speak, the Igbos in Port Harcourt are building new houses, mansions, which they live in and which they let out as commercial property. So on the side of the Igbos, I can say that they adjusted very quickly. And it's amazing for some of us. Politically, too, I'm one of those who believe that in the Second Republic, the Igbos were reintegrated into the system, to the political fabrics of the country. We entered this war because of the overthrow of the civilian government in 1966. So when again General Gowan was overthrown by another regime, the complexities of nation building started setting in. I can say that it was that coup that drew us back.
But there are people who say that while what you say is correct, that on an individual level,
Yeah.
The citizens, both those in the East and the rest of the country, had moved on. I've spoken to a number of people who say that the kind of divide that was possible in 1966, 67 is no longer possible now because many Easterners have married into virtually every other group there is in the country, and that rarely can you find any Nigerian now who is purely of one particular ethnic grouping. That so even that on its own indicates that people have moved on.
Yes, to some extent. The postulation is correct, but not 100% correct.
Okay, why do you say that?
Why I say that is even at that, you have heard the drums of separatism, secession, IPOB, MASOB. Even when Ojukwu was alive and telling them, no, there should be no war anymore. Some people were still doing MASOB. Later, breakaway group, IPOB. And thereafter, other socio-political organizations that are not, socio-cultural organizations that are not supposed to play politics, and they are talking. Restructuring, political, economic, this, regionalism, pre-1966 situation. Would that say that everything has become very normal? They're saying no. So we still need to do certain things.
And at that point, what would we need to do? Someone had said to me, and I said I would ask you, that maybe we need to take a look at the Rwanda example. Rwanda had a similar crisis.
Yes.
And today, in the aftermath of that crisis, there are no ethnic groupings in Rwanda. They were abolished by law. You have only Rwandans. Do you think, I mean, amongst the other things you would say about what we could do, do you think that's the kind of thing we could look at?
We may end up there. We may end up getting to the Rwanda. That was one of the points I was going to make to you. Because the ethnic lines are forever becoming more gaping every day. He's my brother. He got this appointment. He didn't get that appointment. She should have gotten this appointment. That's what you hear everywhere in Nigeria. So something drastic like that has to be done. Secondly, people forget that you must go to your past to look at the present and then project for the future. The removal of history from secondary school curriculum in the schools is a very big disservice. People should read to know why that first coup happened, to find out why some people were killed and some were not killed. Is it accidental? Is it deliberate? There are so many postulations on that.
Which kind of wire you gon' need to light up your light? Oh man, the quality wire. Now which kind of cable you gon' need to light up your house? Oh man, the quality cable. Coleman quality. Coleman wire. Coleman durable. Coleman cable. come and see. Now come and be the Baba. Oh man, won't light up your life. Now come and be the Baba. Come and see. Now come and be the COLEMANA. Quality, quality. Oh man. To the bull, to the bull. Oh yeah. Now come and be the Baba.
So many people have written on their own side of the story. Obasanjo has written his own. Brigadier or Colonel, Lieutenant Colonel, written their own. Bully has written his own. Madibo has written his own. Effiong has given his own translation.
The majors who carried out the first coup have given their own.
The Bully is among the majors. And is it Oyewole or something? Ademoyega. So these are things we can do with our history. That's the second one. Thirdly, by now, there is no ethnic group. There is no group in Nigeria that don't have very qualified persons. We should go back to merit. We should go back to merit in addressing issues. The idea of a geographical disadvantage and it doesn't fly anymore. We got to go back there. When we go back there, it will unify us in the sense of what you're talking. I know so many of my friends who are from the northern part of Nigeria. Their mothers are Igbos. I know so many of them that their mothers are House of Fulani, but their daddy are Igbos. So the intertwining is going in enough. If you go to Southeast, also know. Some House of Fulani persons in Onitsha and the rest of them married Igbos. Their children are Igbos, so to say. Because they speak Igbo and little Hausa. Or both of them conjointly. Same with the West, the Yorubas. Same in Urobo, the Delta area. So something we have to de-emphasize ethnicity. We have to de-emphasize it. The Constitution in section 14.3 took care of that and said you look at diverse nature of the country in appointments and this and that. Yes,
Federal character.
Federal character. But it cannot be done with moderation. Cannot be done with moderation. I don't think we have to be fanning it. If we continue fanning it, we will not get our best out at any given time. Go and look at our Green Eagles squad. Do we do federal character there? The answer is no. When he gets there, they're looking for the man who can score from impossible angles. And when the goal comes, the jubilation is not Igbo, it's not outside, it's not Yoruba. These boys have done it. That's what you'll be hearing them say. So we are not going to the moon, and we will not get there if we continue with this trend.
Finally, what is your response to those who argue that the Southeast has gotten a raw deal in terms of infrastructure development? Sitting in the chair in which you are now, I had Chief Wondo a little while back, and he said,
Which of the Wondos?
Nia Wondo.
Okay. That's the president of our
Indeed.
Incumbent president.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And he gave me the opinion, and it wasn't only his, there are others, that the Southeast has gotten a raw deal. Roads, Only recently is the airport in Enugu being attended to. The east-west road has not been touched. The second Niger bridge. Especially when I confronted him with your statement that the fund for that bridge is intact. Nobody has touched it, which you gave a couple of days ago.
What did he say?
Well, he couldn't fault you on the fact that the fund was there, but he said the project had not been completed.
You see, they are mixing two things. They are mixing appointments to individuals from the southeast into what they regard as juicy appointments, lucrative ministries, lucrative agencies and departments of government. They're mixing it with infrastructural development of your area. And in this area, I want you to compartmentalize it too. Appointments into juicy positions, lucrative in quotes. Yes, they got them during the PDP era. Yes. They got Senate president for nearly 8 years. First term of Obasanjo, second term of Obasanjo.
Yes.
They got finance ministry. They got coordinating economy minister with finance. They got planning. They got health. They got aviation. They got deputy speaker. They got deputy Senate president under Jonathan. And even in the Senate, they got committee chairmanship for both the House of Representatives and the Senate in these periods. They got secretary to government of the Federation under Jonathan, second term. What did they do with all this? In terms of developing their places, that is infrastructural development of their place. They did nothing with it. Maybe they served themselves. I don't want to say they served their pockets, I don't know. But they served themselves. It was self-serving positions. Today, first term of Muhammadu Buhari, we didn't get SGF, we didn't get finance, we got 4 cabinet positions. We got science and technology, we got trace investment industries, we got labor and employment, and we got foreign affairs cabinet, and got a minister of state in education during the first term.
Which kind wire you gon' need to light up your light? Oh man, that quality wire. Now which kind cable you gon' need to light up your house? Oh man, that quality cable. Coleman quality. Coleman wire. Coleman durable. Coleman cable. Coleman can't. Coleman cable for any kind of project. Come and be the come and see, come and see. Come and be the Coleman won't light up your light. Come and be the come and see. Come and be the COLEMAN. Quality, quality. Durable, durable. Now come and be the Baba.
I've said to those who care to listen, in other climes, number 1, in other climes, Minister of Labor and Employment is number 2 or number 3 position. The labor secretaries. In other climes, like China, science and technology is number one minister. In other climes, like United States of America, foreign affairs minister, secretary of state is number one minister. In other climes, industry, commerce minister is number two. Trades. That's one aspect of it. Second aspect of it is that we have only one federal executive council. And when you come to the federal executive council, the ministers all own the ministries the person is handling. If I bring a labor memo, all the ministers will make input into it. And the final decision becomes final decision of Federal Executive Council. Your works and housing minister, like Fashion was, he brings his memo to council, we make input there. And we say, this is what we want you, this is what we expect you to do. This one will not pass because we're not in support of it. It will be dropped. Because we have a president, the chairman of council, who is over-democratic. He reads the Constitution and knows that by section 148 of the Constitution, we're all at his advisors. 147, 148, 149 talks about how you pick your ministers, frequency of meetings, institutionalize the Federal Executive Council, and decision-making for the country, both domestic and international. So it was in Federal Executive Council that we started talking about the importance of the second Niger Bridge. It was there we started talking on how unfair it is to make it a toll bridge, the only toll bridge in the country, under a PPP scheme arranged by the former ministers from Southeast who have lucrative appointments. They arranged a PPP for the second Niger Bridge. So today, that PPP aspect is scrapped. It's being built direct from federal funds. There are 5 flagships, projects of the federal government. Lagos, Ibadan, East-West Road, Abuja, Kaduna, Kano, Mambila Power Plant, Hydro, and the second Niger Bridge are all being funded from both the Sovereign Wealth Fund and the other funds of the federal government. Direct. Now, for 16 years of PDP, they were making campaigns, we are building second Niger Bridge, we are not building well for them, and they were accepting, and they were giving them votes. Today, somebody came, you didn't give him votes. He goes to do your bridge for you, because this is the most important thing you need. That's what your representative kept on telling me. Your governors have said so, my ministers have said so every day, singing it in my ear, and saying that I should bring it out from national budget. And you oblige them. They said I should change. Today again, Enugu, Okigwe, Umuahia, Aba, to Port Harcourt Federal Road, abandoned for years. The only little showing there was when Anini, as Minister for Works, said he had instruction from President to touch it, and touched it haphazardly. That's the late Tony Anini of blessed memory. May God bless his soul. At least he tried to do something there, but nothing happened. Year in, year out, they will put small things in the budget there. This government took sukuk funds, took budgetary allocation, took all kinds of funds, and then we're doing the road in question. It's one of the most critical arterial roads between the southeast and the south-south. Because that same road gets to Port Harcourt. That same road has a component that goes into Goja, to the Cameroons, through Abakaliki. So, You can do the journey from Enugu now into Aba end of that bridge, of that road, 1.5 hours. Unlike in the former times, where you would do it 5 hours. The Enugu Onitsha, the same. Sukuk Fund and other funds, RCC is building wonderful monuments called roads there. Our people are seeing it. The Okigwe Newi to Oba also being done. You get to Owerri, Arab contractors doing Owerri down to Maya. Owerri, Port Harcourt. These were infrastructure that were there. They decayed. They left the man who left it to decay and now passing on the man who is actually doing the work and saying, you are changing us. I've never seen such a thing in life. So to me, I do not understand them.
Dr. Ngige, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for speaking with us.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's today's episode of Newsnight. Do let us know what you think of the conversation. The handles are right there on your screen. Tomorrow, in continuation of this series, we'll be talking to former Deputy Governor of Abia State, now Minority Leader of the 9th Senate, Einaya Abaribe. I am Ladi Akere Doluale. Thanks for joining us, and goodbye.